Welcome back to Engineered Coffee. This is Anthony Kay. Today we are going to talk about Robusta, the bean nobody praised, but might save the industry. For decades, the coffee industry told a simple story. Arabica was the prize, sweet, floral, complex. Robusta was the filler, bitter, cheap, something you use to cut costs. But that story is starting to crack. Today we're talking about Robusta and why it might become one of the most important crops in the coffee industry. Not because it's suddenly fashionable, but because of what's happening to its rival. The two dominant species are Arabica and Robusta. Arabica accounts for roughly 60 to 70% of global production. Robusta, most of the rest. Arabica is associated with sweetness, acidity, floral complexity. Robusta with a higher caffeine, more bitterness, a heavier body, and because of that, Arabica became the darling of specialty coffee. But farmers don't make a living from flavor descriptors. They make a living from growing crops. From a farmer's perspective, Robusta has always offered higher yields, better disease resistance, greater heat tolerance, lower production risk. Simply put, it's tougher. It survives conditions that can devastate an Arabica crop. So there is the climate problem. Arabica is a delicate crop. It wants moderate temperatures, specific rainfall, higher elevations, too much heat, too little rain, new pests, all are problems. As growing conditions shift across major origins, farmers are asking a practical questions. Can we keep relying on Arabica alone? So this is maybe Robusta's second chance. Robusta had a reputation problem. Historically, the focus was yield, not quality, but that's changing. Improved varieties, better farming and processing, and more attention to quality means some modern Robustas are dramatically better than those of 20 years ago. So what is the capsule connection? This is particularly relevant in capsules. Many blends already lean on Robusta for body, crema, caffeine, and consistencies. Consumers associate a lot of crema with a good espresso. Robusta has a bigger effect than people realize. In practice, as a blend's Robusta share increases, you typically see a shift in extraction behavior, more resistance to water flow, denser crema, and a need to recalibrate grind and dose to avoid over-extraction and bitterness. Getting this right is an engineering problem as much as a sourcing one, which is exactly why this conversation matters for capsule producers specifically, not just roasters. So here is where it gets interesting. And the picture right now is more nuanced than Robusta is suddenly expensive. Through 2025, the Arabica Robusta spread compressed dramatically from roughly 144 cents a pound a year ago earlier to a much narrower gap by early 2026, as Robusta held a firmer price floor even while Arabica eased off its 2025 highs. But heading into mid-2026, the picture had shifted again, or is shifting. Brazil is on track for a record 2026-27 crop. StoneX and Marex both project around 75 to 76 million bags, up over 15% year on year, which is pulling Arabica prices down. At the same time, Vietnam's coffee exports are surging up 14% year on year in Q1 2026, with 2025-2026 production projected to hit a 4-year high. And that's easing Robusta's prices. So the spread is moving again, but not because Robusta got worse, because both crops are currently seeing favorable supply years simultaneously. World Bank forecasts still expect Arabica prices to fall further through 2026, while Robusta eases only slightly, meaning the long-term direction of travel, a structurally narrow gap than the industry had historically assumed, is still intact, even if it's not a straight line. The real lesson here, this is volatile, two-sided market. Betting the farm on Arabica alone means betting on Brazil's rainfall every season. Robusta gives the supply chain a hedge, and that hedge becomes more valuable exactly when Arabica becomes less predictable, regardless of which way the spread moves in any given quarter. So will Robusta replace Arabica? Let's be clear, Arabica is not going away. Specialties, single origin, high elevation lots will remain Arabica strongholds. That's part of the market sells on story and terroir, not cost efficiency. But mass market capsules, instant coffee, and RTD formats are where Robusta's economics and resilience matter most, and where we're likely to see its share grow first. The future isn't Arabica versus Robusta. It's matching the right bean to the right format. One lesson I've learned from years in this industry: industries get trapped by their own assumptions. Arabica good, Robusta bad is one of the oldest in coffee, and reality is rarely that simple. Good farming matters, good processing matters, good roasting matters, good engineering matters. Species is only one piece of the puzzle. The bean, once viewed as a cheap alternative, may end up playing a major role in coffee's future. Not because it's perfect, because it's practical, and because climate is forcing the entire supply chain to hedge its bets. So next time someone tells you Robusta is inferior, ask them, if climate and economics both point toward diversification, what if Robusta isn't the problem? What if it's part of the solution? This has been Engineered Coffee, so see you next time. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share.